Hi everyone, I'm Christine from Holosense Create, and today is Sunday, December 18th, and this is Flosstube Episode number 42. Ciao everyone, or as my granddaughter Alaska says, ciao ciao, and then she usually follows it up with ciao ciao, hi hi. So we're speaking both Italian and English. I hope everyone is well today. This is a big weekend right before the holiday. If you celebrate Christmas, it's of course next Sunday, or whatever you might celebrate. In general, this is just a busy time of the year. I was out yesterday, got up early, hit 5 stores, I think. By the time I got home around noon, I was tuckered out completely. Just a busy time of the year. Let me go over some things. It's been a month. I spoke with everyone just before my trip to Italy, and actually on the day that I was filming and talking about my daughter, due to have her second baby at any moment, I had gotten a call as I was trying to edit and upload the last episode, and they were at the hospital. So that was pretty exciting. In US time, she was born on the 13th, but since Italy is 7 hours ahead of us, she was born at 1:10 a.m. on the 14th. So November 14th is her birthday. Little girl, Diana Aurelia. She's just the sweetest little thing. We called her Little Peanut the whole time we were over there. Good little baby. And it was just a blessing to be able to be over there and just hold her, and all the good things that come along with new little grandbabies. Thank you so much for all of the well wishes and interest in the fact that I was able to travel to Italy this time. For those of you who have been with me for a while, you're aware that in 2020, when Alaska was born, our first granddaughter, we were not able to go because Italy was shut down with COVID. And then, of course, the U.S. ended up shutting down shortly after. And so I was not able to go over. So I didn't get to meet Alaska until she was about 9 months old. So this was a real treat to be able to be there. And again, thank you. So welcome to my Flosstube. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back, spending a little time with me. If you're new to my channel, this is a channel primarily about cross stitch. Occasionally I'll throw in some other crafty endeavors, things that I'm working on. Hopefully you'll find something that inspires you and you'll want to watch a little while, and maybe come back, visit with me again. If you would love to do that, please subscribe and then hit the little bell, and you'll get the notifications that tell you when I have another video coming out. So I tried, well, I'm not very good at it. I'll be right up front. I like to try to film about every 3 weeks. Life has happened a lot in 2022, so I haven't been very good about staying on a regular schedule. One of my goals for 2023 is to actually get back onto a regular schedule. And the thing I like about doing that is it keeps me motivated too, to keep stitching, keep finishing, keep doing the things, not only so you have content, but also just being part of the community. And I really love reading all your comments and things like that. So you get to know people through that. I've made some friends who then I have met now at retreats, and consider them friends that potentially started through my Flosstube channel. So it is an important thing, to me as part of this community, and I really appreciate everyone who makes those comments and takes the time to spend time with me. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to just quickly start out with a little haul. I'm going to show you a few things. I did not bring a tremendous amount back from Italy. one of the suitcases that we took over, we actually left with Brittany. We bought an extra suitcase because we could take 50 pounds worth of items over to her, basically, for free. So whereas when I ship, a 10 to 15 pound box, it cost me about $160 to get it over there to her. So this was a great opportunity. So, but we left in that suitcase because she needed a larger suitcase anyway. Therefore, I didn't have another suitcase to bring back. So I didn't bring a ton back, but we did go, we didn't get out a whole lot. It was kind of cold and brand new baby. Of course, Brittany just, obviously gave birth. So she's, kind of moving a little slow. But the last weekend that I was there was the World Expo in Milan, and it's called the Fiera Milano. And we went to that, and it was awesome. We didn't even really scratch the surface of all of the booths and country exhibitions that we could have, but we tried to get through. I think we got through about 2 of the buildings. So I was able to get to, a few of the things. We ate some unbelievable food. There's this thing that is known from the Sicily area of Italy called an entoncina, and oh my gosh, it was just awesome. At the end of this video, I'll include a little slideshow of a few things. I don't have a tremendous amount of pictures, but I'll include a little slideshow of a few things that we were able to see and do. We were able to go to the Duomo, which that has been very important part of my daughter, her experience in Italy the whole time that she has been there. She and Paolo will be married 10 years in February, but she actually started traveling the first time she and I went there when she was working. She was modeling. She worked for Prada for a while, and I think she was like 16. She was 15 getting ready to turn 16 like the next week. So that was our first time to see the Duomo, and she just always has just loved it. And so I'll insert a picture of the Duomo as well. That's kind of, a big thing for her. Like I said, I'll send those. But a couple of the things that we did get, I try to get one new ornament for my tree every year. And it has kind of become a thing for Brittany and I. When she was doing a lot of traveling, she would make a point of, whenever she go to a new country, to potentially try to get some kind of a Christmas ornament that she would send to me. This year, and now she kind of has actually started keeping some of the ornaments to put on her tree. So this year, when we were in the section of the Fiera from Poland, of course, Christmas ornaments. Poland is known for their hand-blown glass Christmas ornaments. I have several Polish ornaments. So we were very excited to go to that particular area and look at the Christmas things. And we did find a set of ornaments that we both really loved. So we bought a set of 6, and she has 3 for her tree, and I have 3 for my tree. And I absolutely love these. They're so pretty. These are all glass and hand painted. We met the artist who was exhibiting, who was making these ornaments, and she was very nice. It was really, really cool. So I got those. Then when we were in the area, I think it was Austria, they of course are known for all kinds of Nordic style Christmas ornaments, very natural kinds of things, natural wreaths, all different kinds of, stuff like that. So we got some rolling pins. I got one for her and one for myself. Really love these. This is really cool. So I'm hoping to maybe do some shortbread and use this. We started out in the Italian section and went through pretty much the whole country of Italy, all the different regions. You had a lot of wine set up in certain regions. You had food. The whole thing was just really about food. I saw somebody's bag that said Italy is really Eataly, E-A-T-A-L-Y, and I would believe that because we ate the whole time. But amazingly enough, I actually lost 4 pounds. My daughter says it's because the food there, the restrictions are so strict on no preservatives, a lot of natural food production and things like that. So we did go through, we ate a lot in the Italian section, but also when we got to the Sardinia section, which my daughter and her husband last couple of summers have spent all of August in Sardinia and on the island of Sardinia. Izzy from the Primitive Hare, she also has a house down there and spends a tremendous amount of time on her vacation down in that area as well. We talk about that quite a bit. Izzy actually lives about 3 hours south of where my daughter and Paolo live, but she grew up in Varese, which is only about 40 minutes from where they live. And Brittany and Paolo are very familiar with that area, and that's where her parents still live. Unfortunately, we didn't get to meet up. It's a little bit far to do that kind of a trip. But anyway, when we were in the section of Sardinia, one of the big things there is a lot of farming. And they have a lot of alpaca and merino sheep. And so we met this hand dyer. It was actually the gentleman who does all the hand dyeing. And I bought some of his 100% merino wools. And they're all hand dyed. So I thought with this one, I think I'll make myself a scarf. But with these 4, I thought they'd be really pretty in the scheme that my daughter has the nursery in, to do like a little Afghan to go in the baby's room. So that was really neat, especially since we talk about hand-dyed threads and hand-dyed linens all the time. It was kind of cool to see his process of doing hand-dyed yarns, and his hands were completely multicolored from all the time that he spends doing that. So that was really fun. Oh, you know what? I did get something from Ukraine. Hang on just a moment. Let me grab it. So this was from the Ukraine booth. I specifically wanted to go to the area of the building that had the vendors from Ukraine. And I met this lady who makes all of these. Now, for my taste, it's a little heavy on the glitter, but just the fact that it was a tomato, I had to get that. And I really love it. I think it's pretty cool, and I wanted to support the Ukrainian maker. So that was a lot of fun too. You might have noticed that I'm not sitting in front of a completely bare wall this episode. This is a hand-hooked primitive wool rug that my mother-in-law always had hanging above the fireplace in the winter. She had purchased it from a rug hooker in the Skipback, Pennsylvania area. She used to have a booth there, and I think became real good friends with this lady, and she loved the Prim Santas. Prairie Schooler would have been her jam if she would have been a stitcher. She was a knitter, but no stitching. So anyway, we inherited this when she passed, and so I put it up in here just to have, something on the wall. We're not really doing a tremendous amount until this whole dining room is going to get a complete makeover. chair rail is going to come down. We're going to paint, probably redo baseboards. The whole thing needs to be redone. The lighting needs to be redone. So I'm not doing a tremendous amount in here, but I couldn't not have something behind me every single time. So I may leave it up again for the next time too, just because. So, okay. So I did get a little bit of haul that was also from the US that came. I did a little bit of ordering right before I knew I was flying home, which I flew home last Saturday. And I order a decent amount from Shabby Fabrics. I don't know if you're familiar with that particular website, but I ordered this Christmas pincushion. It's called a Christmas pie pincushion. And you might even be able to see, it's a complete little kit. It's about 20 bucks. And it comes with, you know, the wool, the finishing braid, the fabric, everything except for the stuffing. So I just thought this was really, really cute and kind of a good deal. Hopefully you can kind of see that. I didn't want to take everything out. And then, as everyone is familiar with Teresa Kogut, not only, you know, does she design cross stitch, of course, obviously punch needle, and being an artist in general, she also has some fabric lines. And her Halloween Whimsy line that came out this fall, Shabby Fabrics put together this pattern called Point of View. And it uses all of Teresa's fabrics. And I happened to see it, and this is, you recognize her folk art work on the fabric. And so you got all the bundles, and to make this round table mat. And I just absolutely love it. Of course, you fussy cut this centerpiece, and then you build your mat around it. But I thought that was really, really cool. So I did order that as well. And then if you've been following me for a while, from time to time, you've seen me show bags from one of my absolute favorite makers, Judy from Buckleberry Quilts. And I'll put this up. She's on Etsy, but she's also very active on Instagram. And she had a bag that she was previewing on Instagram, and I absolutely love it. Isn't that beautiful? That fabric is gorgeous. And this is the inside. And her bags are a good size too. So, anyway, I had to show this one because I really love this bag. And she's such a sweetheart. She actually sent me a little gift from LaDonna at Sampling of Memories, a really sweet, I don't know if you can kind of see that, Father Christmas style. Very cute. So that was kind of my bit of haul there. And I think I have one more pattern that I'll show you that I got. It's a Brenda Gervais pattern, but I'll show that to you whenever we're going through some plans and things a little bit later. Let's see, next. When I got back, my neighbor had gotten the bulk of our mail. She brought over 2 huge bags plus boxes. And I just, shout out to her. Thank you so much for taking care of all of our mail. And as I sat down on Sunday afternoon to start kind of going through it, I had the sweetest gift in the mail from my dear friend, Cindy Cabry. Oh, look. Isn't that the sweetest that she stitched up for me? Oh, I just think that's adorable. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Cindy. She's just the sweetest person. So I got that from her. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. Those things are not necessary, but it just tells you about this community and the friendships that we make. Okay, so what have I been working on? That's what you're really here for. I'll pull out my whips. I had a start and a finish as well, but over my last 2 episodes, I had pulled out some vintage finishes that were Paul Yvonne. Well, in my digging and cleaning and you know, organizing and creating this, my new crafting room, I found another one that this has to be from probably the late 80s, early 90s maybe. And does everybody remember candle wicking? Look at this. And look at the paper that was with it. It's a candle wicking and embroidery pillow. And this paper has definitely seen better days. And the corners are ripped. So I can't even tell what year this was from. But I just thought, well, I'm going to show this. And again, I had done a pretty good job on the embroidery work. I'm kind of impressed. And I think I was doing all of this it was violets, because my grandmother raised African violets. She had over 150 of them in her basement on these huge tables, suspended tables with special lighting and everything that my grandfather had built for her. And I must have been doing this pillow for her. That's the only thing I can think. But anyway, I was like, oh, I should just get rid of this. And I opened the whole thing up and I was like, oh my goodness. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably put it back in the bag, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, to be honest with you. But I just thought I would show that, since we've kind of had some, you know, blasts from the past over the last couple of videos with the Paul Yvonne and that kind of thing. So technically, I guess that's really still a whip, right? Okay. Let me see. What do I do next? Okay. So the next thing on the flight over, I did get a little bit of airport stitching in, not much on the flight because, well, I actually stitched a decent amount from Kansas City to JFK because we left early in the morning. But then whenever we got on the flight over to Europe, it's an evening flight. So the lights in the cabin are off, and I was, my son was on the aisle and I was in the interior seat next to him, and then had somebody on the other side. So I wasn't going to turn my light on. Plus we were in a jumbo jet, so there were over 500 people and everybody had their lights off and were trying to sleep. So I didn't really try to stitch on that flight. But I did do a decent amount of stitching on this particular project. And that's Harriet Goddard, 1817, from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. And this is how much I finished. I'm pretty pleased with this progress. I'm going to keep it out and keep working on it to try to get it fixed, or finished, good gravy, fixed. I'm actually all the way up to here. So I'm about to launch into all the alphabet. So it really shouldn't be too much longer to get it finished. So that was what I worked on primarily while we were in Italy. Put this stuff here. I was using the 103 silks to go with it. Aren't those pretty? So good progress on that one. And then on December 1st, my good friend Chrissy, who's finally a farm girl, on here and on Flosstube and Instagram, and then also she has an Etsy shop, finally farm girl. She and I had stitched the red Cardinal Sampler together. along with some other people. But we decided when Cardinal Ken came out from Flosstube Samplers that we wanted to stitch this next, and we decided to do a December 1st start. So I was in Italy for that. So I did stitch it and finished it, and when I got home I fully finished it. Just a simple pillow finish to go into my dough bowl, but I really love it. Now I stitched this on a 40 count. I don't remember what the linen was. And as I recall, I might have just pulled out like a mystery linen. I've got a little stack of linens in my dresser drawer that I keep all my linens in that are all have lost their tag, or I've cut them and didn't remember to attach the tag back to the remnant piece or whatever. And so that some of them are all kind of mystery linens. But anyway, I just was really pleased with how this came out. And I kind of have it, it's not where it's just totally hard. I have it with a combination of walnut shells, crushed walnut shells, and fiberfill. So there is a little bit of weight to it, but I like them where they're kind of whooshy. So, and then but it should be able to stand up pretty well in my dough bowl. And then of course I just did the slit down the back and covered with a piece of wool. So anyway, so I was very happy with that. A start, a finish, and a fully finish. Okay, so I returned last Saturday night, about, I don't know, I got home maybe 11. I'd been flying for about 21 hours. I had 3 flights, Milan to JFK. Had to be in JFK for about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours before my flight to Chicago, and then Chicago to Kansas City. So it was a long day. Of course, there's a 7-hour time difference. So this whole last week has been just brutal as far as the jet lag is concerned. And I didn't stitch. I read some, started a book, and actually I'm almost finished with it. But that's been about it. And it's just because with the reading, it's easier for me to try to settle down and go to sleep because I can just close a book and set it aside rather than having to put all my stitching stuff away. And so I was kind of in a slump, so I didn't do much. But I had a customer on Friday send me a question. I had helped her pick out some colors and things on a particular pattern before, and so she messaged me and said, would you help me again? And she wanted to stitch Christmas Garden, but she wanted to change the colors and make it a little more Christmassy. And since I don't, I have Christmas Garden in the Home for the Holidays book, which is in the shop, and you can, there's Christmas Garden. So you can buy the book to get this. But at the time she asked, I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to go in because I changed the colors as well. And I'm going to pull out mine and I'm going to take a look at it. And the more I get to looking at it and trying to remember why I set it aside, I quickly remembered why. I had made an error, so I had to do some picking. But, you know, just looking at it again and talking about it with her kind of got me enthused to actually want to stitch something. So last night I sat down with my Christmas Garden, and I do have the border all the way around. But the other reason that I remember why I probably put this aside is I had picked rosewood. It's Gloriana silk. It's too dark. And it's really dark in here, but it's kind of like a deep crimson or a deep burgundy, and it's just too dark. So I have also Gloriana Hollyberry. It's too bright. So I did go on and order 4 skeins of poinsettia, I believe. And it should be here on Tuesday. And if it looks like what I think it's going to look like, I'm going to pick that rosewood out and replace it. So that was the other reason. But you know what? I love this design and I don't want to give up on it. And I don't want to let it sit for another year. So what I did last night was I just worked on more of the green. I, went ahead and worked on getting the leaves and points in all the way to the end. I did this gold medallion. I added all this green. I added in the reindeer. I did the basket and all this green. So I did make some progress on it, and I'm going to keep working on it and until the threads come, and then just, see what happens. But I feel like I'm doing too much work with it to not like it. And even though it'll be a pain having to pick that out, I'll be replacing a red with a red, so I shouldn't have any problems as far as seeing like a prior color in the threads. This is a Lakeside Linen. I believe it was Vintage Buttercream. It's a 32 count. So I'm using 2 threads, which I don't love. And that's probably another reason why, I kind of set this aside as well. But I'm going to keep working on it. I'm not going to give up on it. So anyway, so that's kind of what I started working on yesterday or last evening. And at least it kind of got me back stitching. My son, Adam, stayed an extra week after I left. I was there for 3 weeks. He stayed for 4 to kind of continue to help Brittany. And so I had to pick him up, but his flight was delayed. So his flight didn't land until like 11:40 last night. And boy, I was struggling to stay awake. But we got him picked up and drove him home. And by the time I got, home and everything shut up and into bed, it was like 1 a.m. And then I was wide awake at 7. I'm still waking up super early in the morning, but at least it's not 4:45. Most of the week I was awake at 4:45 every single morning. And this time at least I slept till 7. So I'm going to keep going. Let's see. What are my 2023 plans? Well, I'm not making a whole long list. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch on some things, and then when I feel the need to switch or whatever, because I do like to stitch in the season, I'm just going to go look at my whips, look at maybe a new starts or something like that. And that's what I just did this morning. I kind of dug through and pulled some things out that piqued my interest, and I'm going to just choose from those things, but I'm primarily doing it with my whips. So I pulled some things to show you. Let me kind of grab these because I'd like to get a few of these finished. The first one is the Old Winter, and when I downloaded this, because I actually bought this quite a while ago, actually, before I even had it in the shop. I bought it from Izzy at Primitive Hair. And so I just downloaded it, but I did black and white. So this is the Old Winter. And it's stitched on Izzy's pre-printed white flakes fabric. Or maybe this one is, yes, it is white flakes. And he's a handsome fella. So I just need to get him finished. So he's going to stay out. And I may just switch things every night. Who knows? But anyway, this is kind of what I'm feeling the need to do right now. And so this is what I'm going to do. The next one that I pulled out was Hannah Tingy, or Tingy, however you say that, from the Scarlet House. And this is the sampler that the deer have the big funky eyes. And I did not iron these guys, I just pulled them out. I'm stitching this one on 40 count vintage buttercream with all the called for NPI silks. Forward and show you my progress. This lined up so you can actually see it. And this is where I am. It's a beautiful sampler. Look at that butterfly. Gorgeous. So each time I get it out, I'm like, oh, I really love this. I don't know why I'm not stitching on it, but I'm gonna leave it out and be inspired by these things each day and try to finish some whips. I think that's a good way to just continue to be inspired what I've already started on, because the reason I started it was because I liked it to begin with. So I'm going to keep doing that. The next one is Jane Cowie. And the reason I pulled them out, I pulled the front sheet and then the back sheet, which has your symbols and everything, and I just put them in a sheet protector so that I can easily flip back and forth, which makes it easy for me. And then I'll show you my progress. This is on my project card. This is on 36 count bush tee by my good friend Jay's Cross Stitch, or Jay's X Stitch. She has a shop on Etsy. She's from Australia. And this is my progress. I almost could just hold it up at the fold so you can see. Really beautiful. So there is Jane Cowie. And I believe I just saw Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, get a finish, or possibly we're super close to a finish with Jane Cowie. She might have finished it. I've watched a little bit of Flosstube this week, trying to kind of get caught up. So that's another one. Now, I did pull, these are some that I had pulled out thinking I was going to kit. And some I did kit, some I just have pulled out. So they're just pulled out for consideration. And one is, I'm gonna take it out of the plastic. It's Poinsettias and Pines from Blue Ribbon Designs. I really love this. I've loved it for a long time. Every time I see it, I just think it's so pretty. And so I need to go ahead and kit it. She uses Belle Soie, but has a DMC conversion. So what I think I'll do is I'll pull the DMCs, take a look at them, and potentially maybe just pull in some overdyes and things like that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so I'm going to kind of work on getting this one kitted up this week, and it's going to be something that I put into my pile. Now, one that I had kitted up a while back was this Theron Traditions, the Industrious Bee sampler. This is a Rhode Island style sampler, which is my all-time favorite style. And I really love this. Isn't that beautiful? So I had kitted this one a while back. It has a whole ton of DMCs. And I think the fabric that I pulled is, yes, Vintage Fawn. By Lakeside linen. So I think that's going to be really beautiful. And so this is another one that I've been wanting to stitch for quite some time. Then I have kitted up from Cardinal Sampler. It's their conversion, the Noel Sampler by, with my needle and thread, Brenda Gervais. Now they had kitted it with 36 count tin roof. I will change that linen. I'm not a fan of 36 count. I do want to stitch with one thread. So this week, the other thing I have to do is I'll take, you know, all these flosses and do a floss toss on some linen and pick an alternative linen. It was originally stitched on 40 count parchment by Weeks Dye Works, which I do have some of. So I may actually go back and pull that out. And then that one will be in the pile. And then the last thing I'll show you, which when I was talking about haul, this was the last thing that I had purchased. And I purchased it from Brenda off of her site, and that was the Red House Sampler. And then I'll turn this so you can kind of see, you know, the way she did her picture. It's kind of wonky. But I just think that is so pretty. The Red House Sampler. Now, HDF silks, the Vicki Clayton silks, she actually has, it's called Hand Dyed Fibers. She actually has a kit for this one. So I'm going to take a look at her kit because I don't want it to be super dark and it's kind of hard to tell. Red Rocks and Used Brick and Colonial Rose are not super. Red Rocks is a beautiful red. So I don't know. I may pull these and just see what I think, and then, but I wouldn't mind stitching it silk. So I'll have to take a look at that. But I just received this, so this was kind of the last of my US haul. But it's also one that's going to be then in, so that gives me like 3 or 4 whips, and then a couple of new starts to choose from. So if I feel like I needed one as a new start, I've got one, and kind of go from there. Jackie Tremblay from last time was the winner of this Mill Hill Buttons and Beads kit. I did not hear from Jackie. So Jackie, if you're watching, I had commented on your comment. Please reach out to me, and I will mail this to you if I can get your mailing address. If I don't hear from Jackie between now and the next video, I will actually draw again, and because I can go back to that video and do another random search with that keyword and select again. Somebody else will have the opportunity to win it. So just wanted to go through that. Just kind of checking my list. I'm a little out of practice. Okay, so let's do the giveaways, shall we? I've already commented on the winners for these 2 pieces on their comment. So if each of you will email me at the address below in the description box with your shipping information, I'll get that out to you. Thank you to everyone who left comments. Your comments were so wonderful to read, and I just was so appreciative of each one. But I can only have, you know, one winner per. Lily's mama won the Gold Collection Santa, the Dimensions Gold Collection Santa. Lily's mama. So please message me. And the winner of the Thankful Quaker from Bent Creek is Tracy Wick. Tracy Wick. Congratulations to you both. So that takes care of that. And so since we're just talking about plans and things like that, I don't know if you have gotten your 2023 book of days, but as I have done for the last couple of years, I'm going to give one of these away. So if you are interested and you are over 18, please use the word planner in your comment, and next visit I will draw, use the random selector to draw a name, and you potentially can win a 2023 book of days, and I'll get that right out to you. I'll try to do a video fairly quickly so it's not too far down the road so you can get your planning done. Again, be 18 because you are going to have to send me your shipping address information. Please don't use the word freebie or giveaway or anything like that. I want to make sure that this actually goes to someone who's going to be using it, a stitcher who's going to be using it. So let's see. I'm going to do just a real quick shop update. So if you want to drop off, that's fine. If not, I'll just go through a couple things real quick and then I'll let you go. Let's see. I am going to be staying open through Christmas. There will not be any shipping the 24th, 25th, and 26th, and then we'll resume shipping on Tuesday the 27th. So just, be aware that if you purchase in one of those 3 days, it might be just a hair of a delay on getting your items out. And then we will be closing on January 1st to start inventory. We've kind of already got a jump on it, so I'm hoping to not be closed for very long, but we will be closing on January 1st to get our inventory numbers done. So I do have what arrived while I was away. Much anticipated new color from Fox and Rabbit, and that is white clay. And I just thought I'd give a show of what it looks like. Right behind it, I have Winter Wrens so that you can kind of get an idea of the comparison of the color. I'll pull that over just a little bit more so you can see. It's a beautiful neutral, a little more gray than, say, parchment. Not parchment, paper bark. But just a beautiful neutral. So that did arrive. Oyster shell should be coming anytime. That was the other new one. And so that's exciting. People have been ordering tons and tons of the white clay. Martha Evans, which is the new Scarlet House from Tanya that she has, that Penelope Tucker is putting together a sal for Brenda's big birthday sal. Brenda and the cereal starter. Brenda is turning 60. And so I believe it's January 16th. There's a stitch along beginning for that. And the chart is Martha Evans from the Scarlet House. So my order is already in. I'm on auto ship with Tanya, so that should be here any day. The new Plum Street Sampler, she's got 4 new releases. Those should be coming anytime. Paulette, when she put her information out, didn't give us a ship date because she was still waiting on a couple of charts to arrive from the printer. And then, of course, she had to stuff them and then get them all, packaged and out the door. So I would expect them probably anytime soon. There have been some new arrivals that are already in the shop. Big City Christmas, which is the Country Cottage Needleworks new series. It's really sweet. The first one was department store, and then the second one, I believe, just shipped. Matter of fact, I got a box from Hoffman just a little while ago delivered, and so it might even be in that box. I have to pop it open and take a look. But there's quite a few new things. Check the new arrivals section if you're interested in those. If you're looking for some Christmas and winter stitching, take a look at that section of the shop. I did go back and order in some older designs, but some things that I hadn't really seen. Sometimes you really look in depth at some of the designers' older designs and you might see something you haven't seen in a while or maybe never saw at all. And so I kind of pulled some old Little House Needleworks and some different things and I ordered some of those in and put those into the shop. So take a look, see what you might love. We are considering doing a flash sale. If I can pull that together and Adam isn't suffering too bad from jet lag this week, we might be doing a flash sale. So keep an eye for that, and we'll post on Instagram if that's the case. And other than that, I just want to say a great big thank you to everyone who has made my 2022 so good. It's been a big year of change for us, and with a move, and my husband's still working remotely, so he's been gone for the whole year, and it's been a year of life, right? So, but my customers, my friends, my Flosstube friends who have become in-person friends in some cases. I just want to say thank you so much, and I'm so very grateful for all of you, and I hope your year is also going very well. If not, we've got 2023 coming around the corner. We've got another shot at making it another good year. So I will see you in 2023, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope that you have a fantastic holiday season, however you might celebrate, and that you have an opportunity to be with those that you love. Take care. Bye-bye now.